What's up, geometry? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're going to be looking at 4.5 tessellations, which just means we're going to use transformations to classify tessellations and identify figures that tessellate the plane, and then also determine whether given polygons can tessellate a plane and describe those transformations used to create tessellations. We have quite a bit of wordy vocabulary terms, so let's go ahead and get started with that first. The first one is a tessellation, and that is just a repeating pattern of one or more figures that covers a plane with no overlapping or empty spaces. I will come back later and draw some pictures there too. A regular tessellation is formed by one type of regular polygon, and it tessellates if the interior angle measure is a factor of 360 degrees. And we'll do some examples with that as well. Okay, a semi-regular tessellation is when you are formed by two or more regular polygons. And remember, regular polygons are formed using that factor of 360. A uniform tessellation contains the same arrangement of shapes and angles at each vertex. So again, those vertices have to be the same. So here are some pictures that we can maybe try. So a tessellation is a repeating pattern of one or more figures. So for example, maybe we have a trapezoid. I'm going to try my best to tessellate these the best I can. And then another trapezoid just reflected. One thing we look for in a tessellation is the vertices of that. That was supposed to go not as wide. There we go. Okay, so like for example, these two corners could be 120 degrees, or these two corners could be 60 degrees. Okay, and the sum of that vertex is 360. How we did this is we used some transformations, so it looks like we can translate, and we can also do a reflection here. Regular tessellation formed by only one type of regular polygons. The example I used here was some triangles. And then specifically when we think about these angles here, they're coming together and making 360. So 60 times 6 of those is giving us 360 degrees. Okay. Remember, the interior angle measure is a factor of 360. So like say for example, we have a square. A square could be a regular tessellation because you take the number of sides, subtract 2, and times it by 180. So the number of sides minus 2 is 2, and 2 times 180 is 360, but then because we have 4 sides, we divide by 4 sides, so that means each one can be 90 degrees, and 90 degrees is a factor of 360, so that means a square could tessellate. We'll practice that too in a little bit. A semi-regular tessellation is formed by two or more regular polygons, so like I can have a square and maybe a triangle, and I just repeat that pattern throughout. Obviously, that would be a perfect pattern. I'm not showing the best here with my drawing, but you get the idea. A uniform tessellation is when you contain the same arrangement of shapes and angles at each vertex. So an example I like to show for this one is this. Okay, this is like 4 quadrilaterals put together, and notice that we have the same arrangement of shapes and angles at each vertex. But then I'm going to put a new one here. Maybe we have like a zigzag figure. And again, this is not the best drawing, so try not to get too wound up with it not showing up correctly. Come down here. So this could be a regular, this could be non-uniform because this vertex and this vertex are two different angles, so not uniform because they're not the same angles. These are two different angles. Where this one is uniform because we would just be repeating same angles throughout the tessellation. So uniform tessellation usually happens with the addition of like with a regular tessellation as well. So here's example 1. It says tiles for a kitchen backsplash come in many shapes that can create unique patterns. This pattern shown is created with rectangular tiles. Determine whether the pattern is a tessellation. If so, describe it as uniform, not uniform, regular, not regular, or semi-regular. So this one is in fact a tessellation. So I'm going to write tessellation, check. For this one though, we would not say it's uniform. So we're going to say not uniform because it's not the same number of angles at each vertex. So for instance, this vertex has 4 angles, 1, 2, 3, 4. But then maybe if we look at this vertex where we have some rectangles coming together, we only have 1, 2, and 3 angles, okay? So that's our not uniform piece. It literally, uniform would probably just mean like copy and paste, you're not rotating anything. And then because of that, we're also going to call this not regular. Okay, because rectangles, these rectangles here, don't have equal sides. Okay, so that might be something we need to add up here for when we want a regular tessellation formed by one type of regular polygons and a regular polygon. We want to have equal sides. Okay. Number 2. A honeycomb is composed of hexagonal cells made of wax. Bees use the cells to store honey and pollen. Determine whether the pattern is a tessellation first. So yes, we can say it's a tessellation. It's repeating shapes, one or more shapes, and it's covering the entire area. This one is considered uniform. And remember, if we want it to know if it's uniform, we want the same number of angles at each vertex. So if you look at these and consider like this vertex is the same as this one, is the same as that one, is the same as that one. So same angle numbers at each vertex. And then the other question was regular, and this one is considered regular because the hexagon has equal sides shown. Okay. Example 3 now is going to talk about will something tessellate. So will an isosceles triangle sometimes, always, or never tessellate? For an isosceles triangle, we're going to say it can always tessellate, and this is how we know. When we take the number of sides of a triangle is 3, so we're going to apply the degrees, angle degrees per each side. Angle degree per angle. So that is n minus 2 times 180. So 3 minus 2 times 180 is 180, and then I divide that by the number of angles divided by 3 angles gives me 60 degrees. okay? 60 is a factor of 360. So that's why we can always say isosceles triangles will be able to tessellate, okay? For this one, describe the transformations that can be used to create the tessellation shown. Maybe you think about these as like shape 1, shape 2, shape 3, shape 4. So 1 and 3 were a translation. And then 2 and 4 are a reflection. Or you could even say rotation of 180 degrees from numbers 1 and 3. Okay, so it's just figuring out like, oh, these are the same shapes, and I've created a rigid transformation to make my tessellation. See if you can try example 4. Will a pentagon sometimes, always, or never tessellate in the plane? And then describe the transformations that can be used to create the tessellation shown below. So for a pentagon, we can try 5 minus 2 times 180. So that's 3 times 180, which is 540. So 540 divided by 5 angles is going to give us 108 degrees for each interior angle. And 108 is not a factor of 360. So we would say never for the pentagon. Okay. The next one is describing transformation. So again, you can look at each one of these as shape 1, 2, and 3. And the transformations that we're seeing, so like shape 1 is being translated. And then I would say shape 2 and shape 3 are both being rotated. If I had to guess, maybe we could say like a third. So anywhere from 33 degrees to 66 degrees, or no, a third of a whole circle. 120 degrees to 240 degrees is what it's kind of looking like. Okay, and that'll conclude our lesson on tessellations. I hope this helped you a little bit just get started on some tessellation questions. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.